We have a major update. An NBA Insider recently reported an update about Landry Shamet and confirmed he is close to returning. We also have an update about Mitchell Robinson and the uncertainty surrounding his injury. We're going to break down all of these reports today. But before we get started, guys, about 55% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. We still have a goal to try to reach 25,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content like this, please consider hitting that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. Landry Shamet is getting ready to return. The Knicks starting unit is playing significant minutes right now to try to help us win games and keep us in games. But that is not sustainable over the course of a season. If the Knicks continue to do this, an injury could happen. Expanding the rotation is a must. Unfortunately, Tom Thibodeau is rolling out an 8-man rotation right now. However, according to NBA Insider with SNY Ian Begley, that rotation could soon expand to a 9-man rotation because according to Begley, Landry Shamet is very close to returning. Shout out to Ian Begley for giving us the following information. According to him, Tom Thibodeau says that Landry Shamet is making steady progress in his rehab from a right shoulder dislocation. Taking contact now, so he's getting closer. That's according to head coach Tom Thibodeau. Shamet was waived by the Knicks prior to the season and was drafted by Westchester to allow the Knicks to allow him to rehab with the organization overseeing it. Begley continues here, and he gives us the following update about Shamet and his return from injury. This update is from today's episode of Ian Begley's The Putback Show. According to him, the good news is that Landry Shamet is taking contact. He's coming back from that right shoulder injury. He's with the G League team right now. He's taking contact with them. Tom Thibodeau said last night he is close, and I still think that Landry Shamet is still in this team's plans. I do think that if he can make it back fully healthy, I know that you have some people in the organization that feel he can really help this group. So I would expect them to sign him if he does come back all the way from that shoulder injury. How do you force Tom Thibodeau to expand the rotation? There's not really many ways to do that, but one surefire way to do it is to have players return that he trusts. Let me remind you guys, Landry Shamet is not part of this Knicks team right now. He may be part of the Westchester Knicks, but he's not part of the main team. Really, Tom Thibodeau has no reason to mention him. However, he is mentioning him. He's talking about him. And there's a reason for that. Because during the preseason, we saw what Shamet means to this team. We saw what he can do off the bench. He can shoot that ball from three. He can play defense. He has very good chemistry with the bench unit, with Deuce McBride, with Campaign. And if he returns, that just gives the Knicks even more reasons to play more players and expand the rotation. And if that happens, I think all the pieces come together, and then you get 4 bench players and 1 starter. And if that's the lineup, I am hoping that the 1 starter is Mikal Bridges. Say what you want to say about him, but I think he will shine with the second unit if he's playing the RJ Barrett role. What I mean by that is, during last year's season, Tom Thibodeau would have a tendency to put RJ Barrett on the bench with about 5 or 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. And then in that second quarter, he would run him heavy with the bench unit. And what would that allow him to do? Allow him to control the ball more, have the ball in his hands more, attack more, drive more, play his normal game more. What does Mikal Bridges need? The exact same thing. He needs the ball in his hands more. He needs to feel comfortable with the ball more. And if he's really the only star on the floor and the only other players around him are Landry Shamet, Campaign, Deuce McBride, and Precious Achiuwa, when you're around those type of players, you're going to feel like the guy on the floor. And if you feel that way, that might improve your offense. And that might improve your defense as well, too, because we know with this Knicks team, if their offense does not look good, their defense suffers. So you want their offense to look pretty good so their defense can at least be something that we can count on from a night-to-night basis, because as of right now, it's just not consistent enough. But if you're able to rest the starters and expand the rotation something that myself and a lot of Knicks fans have been saying for a while now, have been hoping for, have been wanting to see happen. If Shamet returns, and he's close to returning, as Ian Begley just mentioned, that means we're going to have another player that Tom Thibodeau can go to and another player that Tom Thibodeau can rest with the starting unit. Every time I look up, the starters are playing 35, 36, 37 minutes. That is not sustainable over the course of an 82-game season. We're going to burn them out, and potentially we could risk injury to them. Let's play them a little bit less. How about we play the starters 32 to 33 minutes a night, and then the rest of those minutes, we give it to the bench and see what the bench can do. Trust our bench. If we trust them, good things will happen. And maybe they'll start to develop their own chemistry together. And that's something that we need, especially going into the postseason. So Shamet coming back is a positive in so many ways for the Knicks. Unfortunately, though, what's not a positive is Mitchell Robinson and the uncertainty right now surrounding his injury. I say uncertainty because after Ian Begley gave us this update about Robinson, it sounds like the Knicks have no idea when he can return. Let's break down these latest updates from Ian Begley. According to him, Mitchell Robinson, Chris Herring from ESPN also confirmed Sham's report that Mitchell Robinson could be out until late January or until early February. What I've been told, this is Ian Begley here, is that the Knicks are not going to rush him back at all. They want him to be fully healthy when he comes back. Tom Thibodeau said recently that he just started kind of shooting on the court. I just checked in on it, and I was told he is not close to returning. But here's the most important part of this report. No one on the Knicks wants to commit to a specific timetable for when Robinson can return. So that should tell you something about Robinson and where he currently is in terms of his rehab. We reported on it earlier today. We dropped that video from Shams basically stating that Mitchell Robinson was likely not going to return until maybe late January, early February. Now we have the Knicks NBA Insider and Ian Begley basically confirming the exact same thing. But the biggest takeaway from his report that Shams did not mention was that nobody in the Knicks is able to commit to a specific timetable for when he can return. So even though Shams is saying late January, early February, that is still an estimate. It doesn't mean that he's going to return at that time. He could potentially return in March or in April, and that puts the Knicks in a bind here. Our defense, especially our interior defense, is some of the worst defense I've seen inside from a Knicks team in, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. It's been a while. Been a very long time that I've been this concerned about our interior defense because normally we're very good in that aspect. And the other thing about it is consistency. We're not a consistent team on defense, and we can't play enough defense inside to help us get by and win games. So right now, getting players back is all we can do. It's either that or make a trade. But if we make a trade and we want to include Mitchell Robinson in that trade, where's his value? What team really wants to pick him up? He's not returning. We don't know when he's going to return. And even if he does return, how long is he going to be there for before he gets injured again or before he needs to rest, load management, because he cannot be out there consistently? And is he going to look like the same old Mitchell Robinson? Will it be a little bit different? Will he still be able to bang down low, block shots, jump the same way, get the same amount of rebounds? Will he still be that offensive rebounding demon down low? All of those questions are unanswered. And until he returns, we really don't know. But I hope the Knicks do get Robinson back because we do need him inside. We do need his defense. And honestly, the Knicks really can't trade him at this point. He has no value. So the only thing the Knicks can do is wait. And here's the biggest problem. Even if the Knicks do want to trade him, you want to know who knows the Knicks can't do anything with Robinson right now? Every single team around the league. They know that Mitchell Robinson is an anchor right now for New York. They need him as part of the roster, but they also can't afford to trade him for just anything and get nothing back for him in return. That's why they have to be very careful with this situation, and that's exactly what they're doing. Leon Rose and this Knicks front office, they have proven time and time again they can get the job done. So I'm going to put my faith in them and believe in what they're going to do. If they're going to trade Mitchell Robinson, I believe that's the best move. If they retain Mitchell Robinson, I believe that's the best move. But I'm going to trust in our front office because this is the first time we have been led by a competent front office. So I'm not going to pick this point in time to go up against them. I trust them, and I know the Knicks are going to be a better team no matter what move that they make. But as of right now, as we've heard, Mitchell Robinson is not close to returning. And if you ask the Knicks internally, as Ian Begley just confirmed, no one is comfortable giving you a specific timetable on when Robinson's going to return for New York. But what about you guys? What do you think about this following update about Landry Shamet and the fact that he's very close to returning? And what about Mitchell Robinson and all of the updates we provided about him? What do you think about the Knicks internally not being able to give you a specific timetable on when he can return? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.